Hey guys, welcome back to Flirting with Meaning. There's a lot going on right now because it's snowing and somebody in a Dodge Charger started drifting around doing donuts in the snow for funsies, I guess, and almost slammed into my car. So I hope they don't come back because that was insane. When I parked here to start setting up, a truck almost slid into me and then a New Jersey Transit bus almost slid into me. So, we're just going to dive into the topic today. I wanted to talk about the new year. I know this sounds like one of those things people say every year when they're like, it's going to be your year. But no, I'm not talking about that. When I hear that, I normally roll my eyes because it's like, yeah, sure. They've been saying that every single year, but somehow every single year ends up being worse than the last. But I'm not even saying like you'll wake up January 1st and all of a sudden you're like, okay, yes, my path is clear. My life is set. No, it's not like that at all. I'm not one of those unrealistic people who will spew lies in your face for a click. If anything, I do the opposite. But I think 2026 would be your year in a way that can't really be measured the way that it's normally measured, like with accomplishments. I think a lot of us are just tired. Every year we're like, this is a new year, let's make it ours. This is when everything changes. This is when we become the version of ourselves that we've always wanted to become. And then the year happens and it's fine, you got through it, or it's the worst year of your life and you're like, how could this year be worse than last? Every single time I reach the end of a year, I'm like, wow, I really didn't think that this year could outdo the last. Somehow it ended up being worse. I didn't think I could experience the pain and suffering that I experienced last year, but here we are and it happened. So it leaves a little bit of pessimism or a doubt that next year would be better, but for some reason I still feel like it might be worth a shot to try to believe it. But at the same time, every year I'm just like, wow, I thought I was done with the canon events. I thought I was done with these stupid lessons. I thought I learned the lessons that I wouldn't need to repeat. Thanks, universe. But when it's like you're in the same, you'll find yourself in the same situation just with different people, as if it's like a pattern you're repeating until you learn the lesson. And it's like, bro, I thought I learned the lesson. Why am I still going through this stuff? But at the end of the year, when you're reflecting and you might not have accomplished the things you want to accomplish, it kind of leaves you with like a feeling that you did something wrong or you wasted a year. And you should never feel like you wasted a year. The passage of time is low-key something I dread to think about. But it's happening and there's nothing we could do about it. So we can't really beat ourselves up for not accomplishing the things we wanted to do in certain time frames. Something I've been thinking about a lot lately is reflection and how we're told to reflect at the end of the year, but nobody really tells you how to reflect, how to do that without just being cruel to yourself, because reflection turns into this internal attack so quickly. Why did I stay so long in a situation that didn't serve me? Why didn't I try harder to be in the right situations or where I wanted to be? Why couldn't I have just started what I wanted to start? But that's not really reflection. It's just self-blame and being hard on yourself. Real reflection is just more like noticing. It's just an internal reflection. Like the words kind of speaks for itself. It's like realizing, oh, that situation drained me way more than I admitted at the time, or wow, I kept choosing that situation because I wanted comfort, not because it was good for me. It's information gathering. It's not a verdict on your character. And if I'm being honest, most of the things that I learned this year, they did not come from the good moments. And I think a lot of people can say the same. A lot of what you learn comes from the hard moments or the difficult moments, not from the good moments. They come from the things that didn't work out, or patterns you repeated, or people you gave too much grace to, or habits that you thought you would fix or they ended up just exhausting you. It's uncomfortable to admit that sometimes they're from your own choices and how your own choices can end up hurting you. But you didn't know then what you know now, and that's the whole point. We treat the mistakes we make like they mean something terrible about us. Like messing up means we're irresponsible or naive or behind in life. But most of the mistakes we make, they just come from us wanting to experience something really human, like you just wanted to feel safe, you just wanted to feel loved, or you just wanted relief, or you just wanted things to be easier. So you chose what you did with the information you had at the time. Learning from your mistakes, it's not about regret, it's about just understanding yourself better. I think part of what makes the end of the year so heavy is realizing that some things just didn't turn out the way that you hoped. And there can be grief in that, even if nothing technically bad happened. There's grief for the version of who you thought you'd be by now, and there's grief for plans that didn't happen, and there's even grief for the energy that you don't have anymore, the energy that was drained from you. And letting go doesn't mean that all that time that you had didn't matter. It's more so just taking the lesson and leaving the shame behind. And I think we need to redefine what it even means for something to be considered your year, because it doesn't have to mean success necessarily at all, or even a big win or a dramatic change. See, why there's so many cars like in the snow, I just don't understand. I just don't understand. But that Dodge Charger never came back, so that's a good sign. I wish you could see there's literally like skid marks, like a complete circle around. Like they just wanted to put on a show for me, I guess. That's what it is. What was I even saying? Where was I? Oh yeah, so redefining what your year is. I don't think like your year needs to mean any success or have any sort of big win or dramatic change for it to be your year. I think it's more so you stop forcing things that just aren't working, or trusting yourself a little more. I think if you kind of do that in that way, you can make a year yours. I think little changes make really big impacts sometimes, but we normally don't put that on our list of things that we want to accomplish because in the grand scheme of things, they seem so small, but they make such a big impact. Even if it's something that just makes your life a little less chaotic or makes inside of you less chaotic, even if your life is the same on the outside, that still counts. I also think a lot of people are in this in-between era right now where they're not exactly where they want to be, but they're also not fully who they're becoming yet. And that space is uncomfortable because it doesn't really come with any clarity or validation. There's not really a title for it. It's like you're just there and you can kind of see where your life is going, but you're not like satisfied with it yet. But in between seasons are where people learn the important things, like they learn their boundaries, they learn discernment, they learn what they're no longer willing to tolerate. And even if it doesn't feel productive, it's doing a lot. And I think 2026 feels particularly different because people are tired in a way that leads to change. So people are fed up, people are sick and tired, and that's the kind of energy that leads to bigger changes. And people are tired of explaining themselves. People are tired of forcing optimism when everything around us, is showing us the opposite. People are tired of chasing things that don't align with them. And it's like when you're tired enough, you stop performing and you start choosing differently. And that's where the real shifts happen in your life. And this isn't me saying, everything will magically work out. No, I'm not saying that at all. It's more like permission to believe that things don't have to keep being this hard forever. And maybe 2026 is the year that you'll feel a little safer in your own life, or you'll stop fighting yourself so much and peace starts to matter so much more than potential. That is a good year. That is a recipe for a great year. And if anyone feels behind, I just need you to know that you're not behind. I have an entire episode about feeling behind in life. If you haven't watched it already, definitely check it out because I need to say this. Like, I need to ingrain it in your mind. You're not behind just because you're still figuring things out. There's no age limit for figuring things out, no matter how much people try to tell you that there is. No, just because everybody wants their life to be like everybody else's, why would you want yours to be like everybody else's? That's such a boring and unfortunate way to live, You have to figure things out on your own timeline. And you're not behind just because your life doesn't look as impressive to others as you want it to, You're becoming. That takes time. You're in your becoming era. And it's okay if this era is long, if it's a lengthy era, it's yours. It's your era. So when I say 2026 is going to be your year, I'm not talking about like all of a sudden everything magically goes the way you want. No, actually, it's probably most likely not going to go the way you want. There's probably going to be most situations you want to go a certain way are probably not going to go that way. And it's like you have to accept it because there's so many harsh lessons that we need to learn in life. And a lot of them come from not getting the things that we want. And it's so painful. It's so uncomfortable and unfortunate. But you'll look back and you'll understand. Even if it's a very long time from now, eventually it'll make sense. And you'll end up where you're supposed to be. You'll never be where you're not supposed to be permanently. If you're ever in a spot where you're not supposed to be, that's because it's temporary. And you can find peace in knowing that. So, is this another person trying to drift, bro? They're gonna slide. What is with everybody and like not caring if their cars get messed up? I just don't understand. I treat my car like my baby. Like, y'all different than me. I couldn't. Like, I don't even think that's fun. Do y'all drift your cars? Do y'all think that's fun? Do y'all think that's fun? Don't think that's fun? But yeah, that's all I wanted to talk about regarding the new year. Take this year and make it yours. It's gonna be yours anyway. Just focus on the small things. A lot of the big things you can't really control, but It's like baby steps, and don't beat yourself up over things that you can't control. Just focus on the things that you can. Find the peace in the little thing that can lessen the chaos in your mind and in your life. And yeah, I say all this, and I can guarantee you at the end of 2026, I'm going to be like, wow, I didn't think this year could be worse than 2025, but I'm sure that it will. Oh no, I don't want to like speak that into the universe, but I will try my best, and I guess we'll see. I'm excited for the canon events, even if they're not fun. I think if you look forward to the chaos, maybe it makes it a little less uncomfortable or a little easier to handle if you know that the chaos is coming. So maybe that can help get us through a little easier. But yeah, I think that's pretty much all I wanted to say. But thank you guys for listening. I hope you have a good rest of the week. I'll see you guys again next week, and keep on flirting with meaning. Bye, guys.